Good morning. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to have you with us on today. I'm Sharon Francis, the business advisor for the Minority Business Assistance Center, and we want to welcome you to our webinar today on preparing an effective capability statement. Today, I'm joined with my co-host today, Rosita Torres, and she is one of our newest additions to the MBAC staff as our certification specialist and outreach specialist. But she will be manning the chat today. Certainly as we move forward with the presentation, if you have any questions, she will be able to man that chat, and then you put them in the chat and she will share that with me. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, on behalf of our director, Jesse Mark, who's not able to be here with us, we welcome you to this presentation. All right, so let's talk about preparing an effective capability statement, putting your best foot forward. Many of you, some have already talked with me about this subject. Certainly, if you're looking at going after contracting with the federal government or the state or even the city of Columbus, it's important for you to have a capability statement. And a capability statement, really in short, is just a business resume. So in our agenda today, we're going to talk about just what that capability statement should look like, different types of capability statements, key elements to include, some basic rules, some mistakes to avoid, and tips for success. Okay, so let's get started. What is a capability statement? As I said, it's your business resume. It is necessary for bidding on your government contracts, and even some certifications may require that you submit a capability statement. If you're looking for new opportunities with agencies, perhaps that don't even have bids that are currently out there, but is a way to introduce yourself to buyers and procurement officers in various agencies and departments, even with other private businesses. It's a way for you to show who you are, what your business services and products are. And also it gives them, it's almost like a glorified business card, but it's something that they can take a look at and see just what your business offers. It's also a way to kind of brand yourself because you're presenting yourself. As we said, we want to put our best foot forward to differentiate yourself from the rest of the crowd. So it's a proof of your qualifications, proof of your past performance. And as I said, it will set you apart from your competitors. There are different types of capability statements. The one that we typically encourage our clients to prepare is a general statement. This is something that you can use at any time. It may be something that you put on your website that talks about your business and the services that you provide. Certainly for credibility, if anyone is going to be looking at your business, particularly for contracting opportunities, they want to know that you have capacity, that you have the skills that are necessary, or the products or services that they are interested in purchasing. So it's a great opportunity for you to sell your business. Targeted capability statements, let me move here forward. Okay, targeted capability statements, they are actually the most effective because you present your business specifically for a bid opportunity that is being presented. So that means that you target the information that you're going to be providing to assure the purchaser, whoever that you're bidding this contract, that you have the capability for that specific skill. All right. So, for example, if you're talking about bidding on a certain type of construction project, you may have done all different kinds of projects, but if they're asking for something specific, then you want to direct the language in that capability statement for that particular bid offering. All right. So you can tailor it specifically to the agency or the contractor that you're going to be submitting it to. All right. It does take more time. So that is why, it is a special version of your capability statement. Often we recommend that you keep several copies of your general capability statement. As we said, you can put it on your website. And this is just something that you just hand out to anybody that may be interested. But when you're going after a specific bid, you want to make sure that that targeted capability statement speaks specifically to the things that they're wanting you to bid on. The third type of capability statement is a sources sought capability statement. And this usually comes from government, the federal government in particularly. If they ask for a capability statement for a sources sought notice, then they will tell you exactly what they want you to include in the capability statement and how it should be formatted. Okay, they don't want to see your general capability statement. They don't even want to see a specific targeted capability statement that you may have put together for similar projects. But this is specific to this notice, the sources sought notice. And they will tell you exactly how they want to receive the information, and that's what you want to be able to send to them. If you send them anything else, you may hinder your ability to market to that agency or the person who makes the decisions. Okay, so we got three different kinds: general capability statement, targeted capability statement, and a sources sought capability statement. Today, we're going to focus on the general capability statement. Okay, key elements: your company description, okay, core competencies, past performance, differentiators, corporate data, and your contact information. Okay, so those are the main elements of any capability statement. A general capability statement is going to include these items. Okay, so let's talk about them. The company description. Obviously, your company name, and you want to use your legal name. If you're using a DBA, you want to indicate that this is a DBA. Your website, that is key, because often when people are looking at your company, or they want to know more about your company, the first thing that they will do is go to your website to establish credibility that indeed you are in business, that you are who you say you are. In your company description, you're going to give a brief description, maybe just 1 to 2 sentences talking about the structure of your business, if you're an LLC or your corporation, your years of experience, or maybe even when were you formed, when was the business formed. So you kind of give people a sense of the fact that you have been experienced in this area of business and that you know what you're doing. The size of your firm. And this is helpful, certainly if you do have staffing, and, especially if you're looking to fulfill a contract or bid on a contract that is going to require that you have workers to, perform various services. So you want to perhaps include that information, the employees. You can also even specify those who are key employees that have certain positions that would be pertinent to the services that you provide. Your revenue, because sometimes companies want to know that you have sufficient capital to do, perform the contract. Okay, so you can even mention that. You can say, $1 million company or $10 million or something like that. And if you have it, fine. If you don't, that's okay too, because you can make up for the things perhaps that you may not have uh, by your own personal experience. And the more you talk about even the product and the service that you offer, you can use words that will show or demonstrate that you have experience, that you know what you're talking about, that you have the best product, that you have an effective product, or you have the newest and latest. There are things that you can say in terms of your language to give the buyer or the person who's looking at your capability statement the impression that you are in authority, and that certainly you can perform on the contract if it is awarded to you. Also, the geographic area that you serve. Where are you? Are you in the Columbus area? Are you in you serve Ohio? Do you serve the eastern section of the country? Whatever. This can be also important because depending on what you're bidding on, they may need services provided outside of this particular area. Do you serve that area? If you are, say, a trucking business, and now if you serve Columbus area in terms of your delivery services or something like that, or hauling, or if you serve the state of Ohio, then you would definitely want to indicate that, or say the 5-state region surrounding, or if you're national. These are the types of things that you want to make sure are included in your company description, so whoever's looking at you gets a sense of the scope of the services that you provide. Okay, so the second section, and if you have any questions, make sure that you put them in the chat, and Rosita will let me know, and we will try to speak to that. Okay, core competencies. All right, this is pretty much the descriptions of the products and services that you will offer. Okay, it doesn't have to be everything that you do, but it should be representative of the primary things that you provide. Okay, if you provide lawn care services, you want to, you provide cutting and trimming, mowing, landscaping, whatever those services are, you want to make sure that they're there. So it gives the contractor or the person who's looking to purchase your services a sense of all of the things that you have available in your shop. Okay. If this were, say, tailored for a specific bid or opportunity, then you might want to just highlight that particular item that they're asking for. But since this is a general one, you want to include, generally those things that your company provides. Okay. All right. Okay, past performance. This is another key element, okay? And it just really is a list of your past customers for whom you've done similar work, okay? You don't want to list unrelated projects. For example, if you have a business that has different trade lines, okay? Say you do, say you do lawn care, but then you also have a home maintenance side of your business, okay? You want to make sure that your capability statement for the lawn care is specific to lawn care, okay? If it is for home maintenance and maybe other services, then you can just include that whole basket of items that you provide. But if you are doing something specifically for lawn care, you want to have that tailored to that. Your construction should be tailored to that. Your trucking or logistics or IT services or your professional services. A lot of people have different side gigs, and you try to put it all together. If it doesn't match, it just really causes confusion. It is good to have it specific to your main focus for that particular capability statement. You can have other capability statements for the other things you do. That's what you should do in order to make sure that you are representing your business and that particular trade in the best light possible. Sometimes when you have multiple activities, it kind of gives the impression that, oh, well, this is a jack of all trades, but master of none. So you don't want to give that impression. You want them to believe that you are the authority in this particular area, and they don't need to look anywhere else for if it's lawn care or if it's construction, if it's cement work or trucking. You are the authority and you can provide that. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay. Differentiators. Okay. This is a description of what makes you different from your competitors and how this benefits the agency that you are going to be bidding for. Okay, how do you stand out? For example, are there any awards that you've received? Is there any cutting edge technology? For example, if you are a software developer or you do IT services, if you have certifications in those particular areas, things that somebody who's looking for that kind of service, they want to, be able to see that you have experience or that you have even you're on the top of the curve as far as what is the latest and greatest technology. Okay, so these types of things, or if there are any unique techniques that you have developed for your business that would set you apart from somebody else. Okay. And any achievements, any special services, whatever stands you out from the crowd. Okay. Typically we always say customer service. We provide the best customer service. Okay. Well, give us a little bit more than that, because everybody says we provide the best customer service. Say, if you say, okay, we provide responses within 24 hours. Okay, say for instance, this is for your plumbing business and someone has, a need and they're trying to hire a plumbing contractor. So here's an individual that's looking at your capability statement and you're putting out the fact that we turn around in 2 hours. Those are kinds of things that differentiate you from the rest of the crowd who may take, 2 days or, we'll get back to you whenever. No, we're responsive to our customers. So that's how you demonstrate how you're different from the rest. Okay. And then your corporate data. This is very important, okay? Particularly when you're doing business with government agencies. When they typically are putting out bid requests and requests for proposals for a specific service or product, there is an industry code that is associated with what they are asking for, okay? If you've ever heard them talking about NAICS, in the NAICS, which is the North American Industry Classification. I can't remember what that last word is, but I think it may be standards. But anyway, when they ask you for your NAICS code, you need to know, and your capability statement should reflect the NAICS codes for the services you provide. Okay. I actually want to do this if I can. Here I've given you the website. If you look down here, www.naics.com/search. I don't know if I can get to it while we're on, but I'm going to try. Okay. All right. And I'm not sure if you can see that. Can they see it? Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to exit out of this and then make sure that you can see where we are. Here we go. Okay. This website is where you would search for your code based upon the services that you provide. Okay. And it's important for everything that you do if there is an associated industry code, you want to be able to mark that and include that in your capability statement. Okay. So here we have a keyword search here. And we're going to look for, let's say, lawn care, since I was talking about it. Okay. Let's try again. It didn't like that. Sometimes you have to. There we go. All right. So it did give me NAICS codes for lawn and garden tractor and home lawn garden equipment. Okay, so that's not exactly what I'm looking for. But I've scrolled down, you'll see others that are in that maybe in that area or that have part of these words in it. And I found here landscaping services. Okay, and he gives you an example here of what types of services would be included in that NAICS code. So you would want to use 561730. Okay, let's try something else. Let's see. If anybody has any questions or wants to give us something that you want us to look up, just go ahead and send it in the chat. Okay. All right. I'm going to look up truck driving. Let's see, trucking. Let's just look at it. All right, so here we go. General freight, trucking, local, there's the code for that. Here is specialized freight, for example, an automobile carrier. Okay, and your trucking firm may have trucks that can accommodate multiple things. For example, maybe you have a dump truck, maybe you have a long hauler, maybe you have a box truck. Put all of those terms in until you find the codes that would best suit that type of service that you provide. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I have a lot of folks that have commercial cleaning. Let's see. So let's look at that up. All right. Here's carpet and upholstery cleaning, commercial and service industry, and machinery factoring. Let's see here. Okay, this is carpet cleaning equipment. Okay. All right. And as I say, pretty much they would take a key off of whatever the words are. But if I take off cleaning, say, or janitorial, let's do that. Sometimes you have to get the right words. There it is. There's janitorial services. So, but you can go here and, as I said, put in all of the various codes that might apply to you and find out what your NAICS codes are. Okay, very good. Any questions so far? Okay, I must be doing a really good job. Oh, okay. So let's put this back up and see if I can get here. Okay.
We have a raised hand from Nicole Dorsey. If you have a question, feel free to load it in the chat, and I'll make sure that that gets answered for you, okay?
Great, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we were talking about corporate data, okay? And the NAICS codes or the industry codes, and there are different types of codes that are used that do the same thing. For example, the federal government uses a CAGE code, all right? There's also the SIC code, and that same site from the NAICS also has SIC. And then there's the state of Ohio uses UN SPC codes, but often these very same codes still tie back to the NAICS. If you put your NAICS code on it, they'll be able to find it and find out what would correspond to, whatever their particular agency uses. All right, so this is a universal code, and we encourage everyone to maximize the use of it in your capability statement. Okay, same thing, product service codes, which is, for example, if you had specific products and goods that you would want to bid on to provide or supply, there are certain codes that are within the federal government's list that would tie to that. And typically when you get a bid notice, it will have the appropriate codes for the services or the products that they're asking for. And often what these buyers will do when they have your capability statement, they will include you in notification. For example, if there is a bid that's going out and you're registered with the state of Ohio as a supplier, and your NAICS code is for, say, janitorial services, anytime that the state has janitorial service contracts going out, they will send a notification to you because you have listed that NAICS code in your profile. All right, so it's very important, as I said, to have these codes, and when you register with the various agencies, to include all of them in there, so then they know to look for you when they're looking for someone to provide this type of service, give you an opportunity to bid on it. Okay. I jumped over this, but this is equally important, your DUNS number. If you're going to be bidding on federal contracts, you'll need to have a DUNS number, which is really it is a business credit designation, all right, where the agencies or other companies can check out your DUNS number and your business profile, and pretty much it validates that your business is viable, and that especially, if you've done projects in the past and you've built up a credit history, that DUNS number is a key element. So if you don't already have one, it's highly recommended that you apply for one. And you can, and you'll start pretty much as the owner. It starts with you. And then as you continue to build, do projects and complete projects and bids and things like that, you'll begin to build your own capacity and your credibility on your DUNS. Okay, but it's important to have one in the first place because that signals to the agency that you are legitimate. Okay, corporate data continued. All right. Federal government GSA schedule, that's another special designation for those who are bidding on special projects with the federal government. And then your socioeconomic status, whether you are an MBE, EDGE, WBE certified, if you are a VBE, which is Veteran Business Enterprise, all of the various alphabets that you can apply for, you want to make sure that you indicate that, because some of these bids are set aside or specific. They're looking or targeting for businesses that meet one or more of these certifications. All right, so you'll see it. We're going to show you some examples, but this is very, very important. And again, our agency, of course, assists those who are looking to get certified with MBE, EDGE, or WB, or VBE. And we actually have an upcoming training in this same regard. So we encourage you, if you're interested in going after contracts, you need to look into getting certified as well. It's free of charge, and we will do our best to help you go through that process. Okay. Also, any partnerships that you might have. Because often, perhaps especially as you're getting started and you may not really have established a track record, if you can show that you have partnered with someone who has, then that again is giving credibility to you and to your company. Okay, so you would want to list that. This is information that would be under your corporate data. And then finally, your contact information. This is probably one of the biggest things that need to be on your capability statement. People need to know how to reach you. Okay, so your contact information, your name, or whomever you would want as a point of contact, your address, your telephone, your email, and your logo. All right, because often your logo is your brand. It tells about you. It also kind of sets you apart from the rest of those who may be submitting. Because often how you present it, your capability statement and how it looks, your presentation can cause someone to look at it and take a second look rather than just going through 100 capability statements or bids that they've received and, okay, blase, blase, blase. We want to make your capability statement as attractive and concise, so they don't have to look all over for this information. It's there in front where they can get the information that they need. And also it's attractive enough that it'll cause them to pick it up a second time. Okay. All right, so here's some examples of capability statements for you to just kind of take a look. And you can see that they are here they used color. You've got a nice logo there that tells you exactly who it is, ACE Handyman Services, okay? Whether that's ACE hardware or not, because that kind of looks like their logo, but they made it their own by, of course, including their handyman services, okay? He's got his cage code, his DUNS number. He is a member of the SBA, so that kind of gives credibility. That's a Small Business Administration. And he is a verified federal vendor, so he's able to put their logo on his capability statement. Typically, oh, you mean I haven't all this time? Oh my goodness. Forgive me. Let me see if I can get you back on here. There we go. Okay. I apologize. See, that's what happens. But thank you, Miss Navigator. All right, so here we are. We're looking at this capability statement for ACE Handyman Services so that you can kind of get an idea how they have incorporated all of this information in this format, okay? Of course, at the top, they've got the name of their business. Of course, the fact that this is a capability statement. They've got their corporate information, their cage code, their DUNS number. Again, as I said, SBA and federal vendor, they have a verified federal vendor. They have a seal. And this is something that as you do business or as you get certifications, you definitely want to be able to utilize those logos in your capability statement because it says, bam, right there. This person is an experienced federal vendor. So if I'm a buyer for federal services and this person submits this capability statement, I already know that, okay, they know the process, they've gone through it, they have experience. So that speaks loads right there. But here at the top, you'll see the contact information, their address and telephone number, of course, and their email address. Okay. And this looks like their website. And if I were critiquing this, the website looks really little small because typically that's the first thing as a buyer I would want to go check out. I don't want to have to search for that website. Okay. But there it is. It's in the top half, so it's okay. All right. The company overview, It's Ace Handyman Services. Crystal Coast is a remodeling and construction agency based out of North Carolina. We are veteran owned. We average 15 years of experience per employee. That's a differentiator too. And offer an array of solutions. Okay. And then it gives a little bit more detail about the services that they provide, that they can handle any project, no matter the size. They said they maintain a nearly perfect customer review rating since the business establishment. Boy, this is where you put it on, where folks see that you are experienced and that you know what you're doing. All right. This is kind of like your bragging statement. Okay. And then here in the differentiators, then he speaks of that 15 years of industry experience. And I think that's very striking, because he put it in the company overview and then he reinforced it down here in the differentiator. So that really stands out. Okay. He's veteran owned. Veterans make up 90% of the staff. Okay. So there are contracts that are targeted for veteran owned businesses. This business already meets that. So if I'm a buyer and I'm looking for veteran friendly businesses, let me put this to the side, because yes, he meets, he ticks that off. Okay. 4.9 over 5-star reviews. Okay. We strive for excellent customer service. All right. He had to say it, but the fact that he put the star rating in there, it already tells you the story. So these things are just kind of continuing to confirm what he is saying about his business. This is not just me talking. I do have some backup for what I am saying. All right. They have Spanish speaking staff members. That may be something that is something that someone would be looking for, depending on what the nature of the business or the contract is. They have extended business hours to better accommodate all clients. Core competencies, they do residential and commercial construction, and he gives a full list of the services that they provide. And then you see the NACE codes that are down there that tie to all of these areas. Okay. His past performance, all right? He just gives you a list of the things that he's done in the past, okay? So all of those elements are there. This is a good example, okay? Let's see the next one. Okay. Different format, okay? TechComp Inc., right? He has his website, top right, big and bold, so you can go straight there. All right. His company description is underneath that. It talks about it. The fact that they're a certified woman-owned small business. Okay. That was something that they put right up front, because a lot of projects are looking for, or buyers are looking for, women-owned businesses. So if you want to put it out there so that there is no doubt. And you'll see under socioeconomic status, he's got, or she's got, the fact that she's a woman-owned business, and she's got the logo that goes along with that. Okay. Core competencies are there. She's got her cage number, her DUNS number, all of her contact information, her past performance. Like I said, this is a different format. You make it your own. Okay. But that will cover. She's got partners down here, and I think that's an important piece for her to be able to indicate. Of course, all of her NACE codes are there. Here's another. This is a construction group. They led off with their DUNS number, cage, their certifications, okay? And notice here where it says MBE to be submitted, okay? The fact that you are, let's see, a minority business or even a women-owned business, even if you're not certified, you wouldn't put it necessarily under certifications, but you can put it under differentiators. It's something that stands out. You're still a woman-owned business, whether you have a certificate or not. Okay. A lot of people ask about that, but it's in, when you get your certification, then absolutely you can put that in. And you see everything that they have down there. They're applying for a hub zone under SBA certification, DBE to be submitted. So that lets you know that they're going after these things, but it also tells you that they are a minority business, that they are located or operating in a hub zone area, and that they are also a disadvantaged, which means a disadvantaged business, which is mostly tied to economically disadvantaged. Okay. And under the state's program for EDGE, economically disadvantaged means that the primary owner has a net worth of less than $750,000. And probably most everyone in this room probably can meet that requirement, okay? But when it comes to major contracts, that's a very important distinction. And we have found in some of the initiatives here locally, for example, the OSU Wexner Hospital project that was under construction recently, they had a goal, a participation goal of 15% of every contract to be economically disadvantaged businesses. So you needed to have EDGE certification. You couldn't just say, hey, I'm economically disadvantaged. You actually had to have the certification from the state of Ohio to allow you to participate in that project. But I mean, there are clients that, received huge contracts as a result of having that certification. And you want to be able to indicate that on your capability statement if you have it. All right. If you're going to get it, you can indicate, as he did, it's to be submitted. And the person may say, okay, well, I see that you're an MBE, but I'm going to look for that certification in order to actually contract with you if it's a set aside for an MBE. You just can't say, I'm a minority business. You have to be able to provide that certification. NACE codes are there. He also indicated his bonding, which, especially in construction, that's very important to have so that they know that you have the financial backing to perform and bid on the projects that you're going to be bidding on, okay? Their locations, their key personnel, okay? And sometimes this is very effective, especially if the name has a reputation or they have a position or a designation or, that sets them apart so that that this person has like if you put on somebody that has a doctorate or something like that, or whatever the designation is, even if it's for nursing services, if you've got RNs on your staff or that are in your that gives credibility to your business. Okay, so that was a nice piece that they put in here. And then of course their contact information, core competencies, clients, see the list of clients, and they didn't have to give a lot of detail, just really the name of the client, or you may even give their address if you'd want to. But often if they want to do any follow-up and want any references, then you would give them full details. But that just kind of gives you a quick and dirty view of who they've served, any affiliations that they have. Again, that all lends to their credibility. Okay. All right. There's a couple of more, and you just kind of take a look at them, and because now we're talking about formatting. Okay, because you just imagine if you're a buyer and you're getting all different kinds of capability statements, they can all look differently, but they want to make sure that all of those core the core sections are there. The company description, the core competencies, past performance, their featured clients, your code, your certifications, your differentiators, those things they want to make sure that they are there. Okay. And a couple of more so you can just see. All right. All right. This is a simple one. All right. But it tells the story. So it doesn't necessarily have to be all of that, that you have to hire somebody to do your capability statement. You can actually do it yourself. I'm going to tell you about that. Here's another one. Okay, use of color is nice. All right, because just a plain white sheet of paper with a whole bunch of words, may not catch people's attention. Blah. Okay, but again, it speaks to your brand and how you want to best present your business. Okay, all right. Here's another one, and they have a lot of information. Look here, they listed all of their NACE codes. And it's best to use one at the max 2 pages. Okay. When you get beyond that, that is something that would be maybe for a tailored, something specific that is going to a buyer or even a source is sought. There's something that's specifically that they're looking for, then it may take more pages, but your standard general capability statement should be no more than 1 or 2 pages max. Okay. All right. So basic rules to follow: show and tell, show what you can do, show what you have done in the past, and explain why you are why should they consider you. Keep it short, but don't leave out the basics. Keep it short and sweet, and then update it often, because as you do more projects, you're going to be adding to your list of, you want to take your best projects that you completed so that you can show what you have done. Marketing is key. Know who you are going to be sending that document to. Emphasize your branding because you want to stand out, and take it everywhere with you. Put it on your website. Okay. Make sure it's formatted correctly. And that is something that we can help you with. If you have a draft that you would like us to take a look at, we will definitely do that for you and make suggestions so that you can present it in the best possible light. Okay. Let's see. So provide contact information for references if it's specific to a request. For example, if they're going to be asking for references, that you can indicate that they're available on request and who to contact. So it's very important to make sure that you have your contact information there. And you can tailor different versions so you can have them ready for depending on the type of opportunity that might come forward. So again, you should be in 1 page, max 2 pages. Use bullets, headers, or columns for sections. Keep it simple and clean. Make it come alive, visually interesting, using graphics and color, your company brand and logo. And you can create them using Microsoft Word or Publisher, and then convert it to a PDF. This is important. If you're going to be emailing your capability statement to anyone, you want to make sure that it's in PDF format so that it cannot be altered. Okay, you don't want to send your information over to somebody and they can come in, they can edit and change things around and misrepresent you. So in using PDF format will allow that document to retain its, not only its design, but the information that is being set forth. Okay, take your shot. This was, for example, you can send an email to an agency's small business specialist, program manager, or buyer, all right, and include just and introduce yourself, okay, and attach your capability statement, okay. Often when I talk to clients that have services that they provide, that might be of interest even to our clients, so do you have a capability statement? Send it over to me, all right. And that way, and I do keep them. I do keep them because you never know when you need to reach out to somebody who has a specific skill or service. All right. They say make sure it's in PDF format. Keep the file small. Don't send mass emails. Okay. And always address the email to a specific person. Don't just send it out to whom it may concern. No. That assures that somebody's just going to pitch it. Make sure you know who you're sending it to and direct it to that person. Okay. All righty. And so these are, again, just some resources for you. One thing that we do suggest, if you are looking to develop your own capability statement, there is a website, and I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay, because I use it all the time. It's called canva.com, CANVACOM. If I can get it here, I'll get it in the chat. Of course, my computer doesn't want to act right, so I'll just type it. Okay. And let me send that to everyone, because I don't think it went to everyone. There we go. All right. If you go to canva.com, all right, and I am going to share my screen so you can see. Okay. I don't think it did it. Stop that again. Let's try again. You can see it? Okay. All right, great. All right. Okay. And so if you were to search for resumes, okay. Okay. And it's going to give you a list, well, a bunch of types of resumes, formats that you can customize yourself, okay? And for example, here's one. Let's just take a look at this one. And you can go in and you can just change the information. You could put your own logo in here. You could put your contact information. You can change the headers to match the sections in the capability statement. Okay, so you find a format that you like, and you can make it your own. So that's just a simple way. There are other templates that you can actually find online. You can pay for templates, but this is free. So we always encourage folks to take advantage of Canva in order to make your capability statement sing. Okay. So do we have any other questions?
Sharon, I did want to see on the first example that you provided, did you happen to mention the owner of that business, they kind of highlighted the amount of time that they spent on
Yes.
certain projects? Okay, great.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
I thought that was something great to include.
Yes. So whatever you find that is, again, a differentiator, something that makes you special or stand out from the crowd, you want to be able to highlight that and feature that, you know. And again, I like the fact that some of them used not only their company description to make that point, but then it was further down in the document, in the document under differentiators or whatever, to just kind of reinforce that, you have 15 years of service, of each employee is skilled. So that really kind of stands out, and that speaks to the capacity of the entire business. So those things that are your highlights or features or that make you special, or if it's a product that you offer that is just, it's outstanding, or it's something that is going to really be a game changer, and that is something that perhaps, companies hadn't considered. Maybe agencies hadn't considered this type of product, but it's something that you've got that you want to showcase. Use that capability statement to get that information over to the buyer so that they can see what you offer. Okay. NAICE codes are so important because if you register with the city or the county or the state of Ohio or federal government, you want to make sure that all of the services or products that you provide are included in your profile, so that you will receive the notifications as these bids come available. And then they'll be reaching out to you. They'll send you an email that it's coming. There's a opportunity to bid and an invitation for you to bid. And there definitely is how you would build your capacity and build your track record. We talked about during our bid tech last week, has businesses really launch out into government contracting. It's important for you to know the agency or that you're going to be submitting the bid to, or even if you're looking for opportunities, how to find them. And then when you do, look at the qualifications that they are looking for. Okay. If they have, if it is only for women-owned businesses, well, then of course, if you're not a woman-owned business, then you cannot participate on that. But if it's minority, or if it's, if you serve a particular region or area and that fits within that's something that you can accomplish, then by all means, you would want to reach out and respond to that. Okay. So again, thank you for taking time to be with us today. Thank you, Rosita. This is her trial by fire. But yes, again, we appreciate all of you participating. And if you have any questions for us, you know how to reach us. Here's our contact information. If you're not already registered with them, MBAC, visit us on our website, www.cul.org/MBAC. Okay. And there's a button where you can register right there. Visit us on Facebook. Try to keep you up to date with what's going on with our clients and around here. And again, thank you for taking your time with us today. Have a great day.